Friends, if you're in the mood for a movie that blends mystery, suspense, dark comedy, and a whole lot of stylish flair, then you're absolutely in the right place. In today's video, we're going to talk about the sleek and intriguing thriller A Simple Favor, which hit the screens in 2018 and quickly gained attention for its sharp storytelling, unexpected twists, and powerful performances. So, if you're someone who enjoys movies that keep you guessing right till the end, you're definitely going to want to watch this video from beginning to end. And hey, if you're visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We bring you detailed and entertaining updates on all the movies you love, and some you haven't even discovered yet. So don't miss out. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about A Simple Favor. We'll start with what the movie is all about, what makes it stand out from other thrillers, and why it became a favorite for so many fans around the world. I'll also tell you where you can watch this movie right now, whether it's on an OTT platform or a satellite channel, so you don't have to waste time searching. But that's not all. We're going to dig deep into the behind-the-scenes work too. We'll talk about the director, the music, the cinematography, the pre-production and filming process, and how all of these things came together to create this stylish mystery. I'll also give you details about the film's budget and how it performed at the box office. And yes, we'll definitely talk about the story of this movie. But don't worry, no major spoilers. Just a small review that gives you an idea of the plot and the overall vibe of the film. We'll also discuss the characters, how each actor performed in their roles, and which scenes really made them shine. From Anna Kendrick's quirky charm to Blake Lively's cool and mysterious presence, we'll break it all down. Plus, we've got some really interesting facts about the film that you probably didn't know, like where it was shot, how some of the scenes were made, and fun tidbits about the production process. Whether you've already seen A Simple Favor or you're just curious to know more before watching it, this video is for you. So grab a snack, sit back, and stay with me till the end, because we're going to uncover all the secrets behind this stylish and suspenseful film. Alright friends, let's jump right into it. 2. Plot and narrative. Alright friends, get ready, because the story of A Simple Favor is like a cocktail, sharp, surprising, and a little dangerous if you're not paying attention. This isn't your usual whodunit or your average buddy movie. It starts off all sweet and innocent, with suburban sunshine and PDA meetings, and then slowly, deliciously, slides into something much darker and way more twisted. The movie kicks off with Stephanie, a single mom and an overachieving vlogger who makes adorable cooking videos and treats every school event like it's the Oscars. She's perky, polite, and just a little too perfect. Enter Emily, a sleek, mysterious, effortlessly cool woman who storms into Stephanie's life like a thunderstorm in heels. She's got the high-powered job, the lavish lifestyle, the martinis at noon, and enough secrets to fill a dozen diaries. The two women become unlikely best friends, bonding over cocktails and confessions. But just when you think you've figured out the vibe of this movie, boom, Emily goes missing. From there, the story starts twisting like a pretzel at a plot party. Stephanie, being the curious and slightly obsessive person she is, decides she's not just going to sit around and wait for answers. Nope. She takes matters into her own hands and starts digging. And this is where things get really fun. The movie doesn't just give you answers. It plays with you. Every time you think you've solved the puzzle, it flips the table and rearranges all the pieces. Flashbacks pop up, lies are peeled back layer by layer, and the whole narrative becomes a guessing game, where the rules keep changing. One of the most entertaining parts of this story is how it balances tone. It's dark and mysterious, yes, but it's also wickedly funny. You'll go from gasping at a sudden revelation to laughing at a perfectly timed sarcastic line. And the plot knows it's a little outrageous, maybe even a bit over the top, but that's what makes it so much fun. It plays with genre expectations. Just when you think it's about to go full thriller mode, it throws in a scene that feels like something out of a black comedy, and somehow it all fits. As Stephanie dives deeper into Emily's past, the story starts playing with perspective. We see events through Stephanie's eyes, but there are moments where the truth gets slippery. Flashbacks give us glimpses of who Emily really is, or who she wants people to think she is. There's a constant tension between appearance and reality, between what people show the world and what's hidden underneath, and the movie absolutely thrives on that tension. Now, let's talk about those key turning points. Emily's disappearance is the first big shock, but what really pulls the rug out from under the audience is when she suddenly reappears. Yes, that's right. Emily wasn't dead. She was hiding.
Why?
That's where the story kicks into high gear, mixing blackmail, identity fraud, faked deaths, and sibling drama into one wild ride. Each twist raises the stakes and reveals new layers to the characters. No one is exactly who they seem to be at the beginning, and that shifting dynamic keeps the energy alive right until the final act. And let's not forget the emotional punches hidden in all this chaos. There are real themes at play here: loneliness, the masks people wear, the idea of perfection in modern motherhood, and how far someone will go to protect their version of the truth. Beneath all the glamour and scheming, there's a real human story about two women who are both, in their own very different ways, trying not to drown in the lives they've built. In short, the narrative of A Simple Favor is like a game of stylish chess, with every move calculated to keep you on your toes. It's flashy, it's unpredictable, and just when you think the game's over, it checks you again. So buckle up, because this story doesn't just unfold. It unravels, twists, coils back on itself, and keeps going until the very last move. 3. Character development. Now, let's get into one of the juiciest parts of A Simple Favor: the characters. Because this movie doesn't just serve you a plot with twists and turns, it gives you characters who are full of surprises themselves. They're like Russian nesting dolls, each layer hiding another one you didn't see coming. And watching them reveal their true selves is half the thrill. Let's start with Stephanie. On the surface, she's the ultimate Pinterest mom, baking cupcakes, volunteering for everything, and running a wholesome little vlog where she shares cookie recipes and cheerful tips. She seems like someone who wouldn't hurt a fly. But oh, don't be fooled. Stephanie is way more complex than her sunny exterior lets on. As the story goes on, we start seeing cracks in her perfect image. Her past isn't as squeaky clean as she makes it seem. And when Emily disappears, Stephanie doesn't just play detective, she transforms. It's like watching a sweet house cat suddenly start hunting like a jungle tiger. She becomes bold, sneaky, and even manipulative when she needs to be. And the best part? She kind of loves it. She starts to embrace the darker, more assertive side of herself. Her transformation is subtle at first, but by the end, she's almost unrecognizable from the nervous, awkward mom we met in the first few scenes. And then we have Emily. Oh, Emily. She's not just a character. She's a walking mystery wrapped in high fashion and dry sarcasm. From the moment she strides onto the screen, you know she's not playing by anyone's rules. She's confident, brutally honest, and keeps everyone at arm's length. But underneath her icy charm, there's a hurricane of secrets. She's a master manipulator, but also someone who's clearly been shaped and scarred by her past. Her motivations are slippery, and that's what makes her so magnetic. Is she a villain? A victim? Something in between? Her layers keep peeling back, one by one, and every time you think you've figured her out, she does something that flips the script. What makes Emily fascinating is that she never pretends to be likable. She owns her flaws, wields her charm like a weapon, and doesn't ask for your sympathy. Yet somehow, you still find yourself drawn to her. And then there's Sean, Emily's husband, who adds his own kind of ambiguity to the mix. At first, he's the grieving widower, a bit clueless and emotionally distant, but as the plot thickens, so does his character. Is he genuinely confused and overwhelmed, or is he part of the scheme? Is he using Stephanie? Or is he just another pawn in Emily's game? His role constantly shifts, and while he's not as bold as the two leading women, his choices and motivations add tension and question marks throughout the film. What really drives the story forward is the twisted, ever-changing dynamic between Stephanie and Emily. Their relationship starts off like an odd friendship between two opposites, sunshine and storm cloud, but quickly turns into something more intense. There's admiration, envy, trust, betrayal, and just a dash of obsession. They challenge each other in unexpected ways. Emily forces Stephanie to confront her fake little perfect life image, while Stephanie, unknowingly at first, threatens Emily's carefully controlled chaos. It's this cat-and-mouse energy between them that keeps the narrative crackling. Every interaction is charged, and you never quite know who's holding the upper hand. And through all of this, none of the characters are just there to move the plot along. They feel real in their contradictions. Stephanie is nurturing but deceptive. Emily is stylish and icy, but deeply emotional underneath. Sean is intelligent but passive. Each character has their own flaws, strengths, and secrets, and their arcs don't follow a straight line. They twist, regress, surge forward, and sometimes just explode without warning. So, while the mystery might keep you hooked, it's the characters that make you stay. They're messy, unpredictable, and impossible to fully trust. But that's exactly what makes them so much fun to watch. You're never just observing them. You're trying to figure them out right alongside the story. And every time you think you've cracked their code, they remind you that in a simple favor, nothing is ever really simple. 4. Performances. Now let's talk performances, because in A Simple Favor, the acting isn't just good, it's absolutely delicious. This movie gives its cast the space to stretch, play, and completely own their roles, and the result is a lineup of performances that are sharp, stylish, and wildly entertaining. Let's start with Anna Kendrick, who plays Stephanie. Anna brings that signature sweet and slightly awkward charm she's known for, but this time with an intriguing twist. At first, she plays Stephanie like the ultimate picture-perfect mom, super peppy, endlessly polite, and just a little too eager to please. But what's so impressive is how she slowly peels back that sugary surface to reveal the more complex, messy woman underneath. Anna doesn't just play Stephanie's transformation, she loves it. One minute she's hilariously fumbling through PDA meetings, the next she's investigating crimes like a stylish suburban Sherlock Holmes. She shifts gears between comedy and suspense with such smooth precision that you never feel the tone wobble. It's funny, it's weirdly empowering, and it's totally captivating. And then there's Blake Lively as Emily, and oh wow, this is a performance you don't forget. Blake absolutely devours this role. She's confident, icy, and impossibly cool, like she just walked out of a noir thriller and into a suburban playground. The way she carries herself, the way she delivers those razor-sharp one-liners, the way she wears a three-piece suit like it's her superhero costume, everything about her performance is dialed in. But it's not just about the attitude. Blake adds real layers to Emily. You can see the pain flickering underneath the perfection, the fear behind the control. Even when she's doing something cold or calculating, there's a flicker of vulnerability that makes you lean in closer. She's terrifying and magnetic all at once, and it's hard to look away. The chemistry between Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively is another standout. These two don't just act, they spark. Their scenes together are loaded with tension, admiration, suspicion, and more than a hint of obsession. Whether they're sharing martinis and dark secrets or playing psychological chess, the back and forth between them is electric. It's like watching fire and ice battle it out, each one trying to melt or freeze the other first. And let's not overlook Henry Golding as Sean. He plays the husband caught in the middle of this beautifully twisted mess. Henry brings a smooth, understated charm to the role, but with just enough ambiguity to keep you guessing. He's never over the top, but that's exactly what makes his performance effective. He lets you question him. Is he clueless? Is he manipulative? Is he just really unlucky? Henry keeps it grounded, and that calm presence helps balance out the chaos surrounding the two lead women. He gives Sean a sense of mystery without pushing it too far, and that subtle performance pays off as the story unfolds. Even the supporting cast brings their A-game. From the fellow school parents who deliver some of the funniest lines in the movie to the cops and co-workers who add layers of suspicion and shade, every character feels like they've been carefully chosen and fully fleshed out. There's a sense that the entire cast knows exactly what kind of movie they're in, a stylish, slightly bonkers mystery comedy, and they all lean into it with just the right amount of flair. What makes these performances so memorable isn't just the individual talent, but how each actor enhances the tone of the film. They walk the line between dark and playful, serious and absurd, and somehow it all clicks. You believe in these characters, even when they're doing things that are wildly unbelievable. That's not easy to pull off, but this cast makes it look effortless. Watching them is half the thrill, and arguably all the fun. 5. Direction. Alright friends, now we've got to talk about the person steering this fabulous, twisted ship, Paul Feig, the director. And let me tell you, he brings a whole different flavor to a simple favor. Known mostly for his work in comedy, like Bridesmaids and Spy, Feig takes a hard left turn into mystery thriller territory with this film, but he doesn't ditch his signature style. Oh no! He brings it with him, blends it with noir influences, stirs in some high fashion, and serves up a cocktail of suspense and sass that's unlike anything else out there. Right from the first frame, you can feel Feig's fingerprints all over the tone. He's not trying to make a gritty, grim murder mystery. Instead, he leans into the absurdity, the glamour, and the twisted fun of it all. The movie has this playful darkness that lets you laugh one moment and lean forward with suspense the next. It's like watching a thriller in designer heels and a perfectly tailored blazer. Feig walks this tightrope between tension and comedy so smoothly, and it gives the film a totally unique personality. You're never quite sure whether to gasp or giggle, and that's the whole point. The mood is sharp, polished, and constantly shifting in the best way. One moment we're in Stephanie's bright, cheery kitchen with soft lighting and pastel colors. The next we're in Emily's moody, modern glass house full of shadows and secrets. That contrast between environments mirrors the contrast between the characters, and Feig uses that visual storytelling to great effect. The shot composition isn't flashy for the sake of it, it's clever. When Stephanie starts stepping into Emily's world, the visuals follow her. Her clothes change, the lighting around her shifts, her posture gets stronger, and the camera starts framing her in ways that echo Emily's earlier scenes. It's subtle but powerful, and it tells a story without saying a word. Feig also knows how to keep things moving. The pacing of A Simple Favor is brisk without feeling rushed. There's a rhythm to how the secrets are revealed, how the twists land, and how the tension builds. Just when you're settling into one mood, the story pivots and takes you somewhere new. But instead of feeling chaotic, it feels stylishly orchestrated. Feig treats the mystery like a puzzle he's putting together in front of your eyes, but he's doing it with flair, wit, and just a hint of mischief. And can we talk about the music choices? They're bold. French pop songs, retro beats, and stylish instrumental cues that feel more like a fashion ad than a murder mystery soundtrack, but somehow it works. It sets a tone that's breezy but biting, posh but playful. It's not just background music, it's part of the movie's attitude. And that's a very Feig thing. He's not just telling a story, he's curating a vibe. He also knows how to bring out the best in his cast. You can tell the actors are having a blast, but they're not hamming it up, they're locked into the exact tone Feig's going for. That tightrope of drama and comedy, that constant sense of, is this really happening? It all clicks because Feig gives them the room to explore without ever letting things spiral out of control. He's got the reins, but he's not choking the horse. He's letting it run just wild enough. One of the coolest things about Feig's direction is that it doesn't try to be what it's not. It knows it's a twisty thriller, yes, but it also knows it's a stylish satire of suburban perfection, influencer culture, and the idea that anyone really has it all together. The tone is self-aware without being smug, dark without being depressing, and elegant without being stiff. That balance is what makes A Simple Favor such a standout, and it all comes down to Feig's ability to blend genres, surprise the audience, and look good doing it. So yes, the story pulls you in, the characters keep you hooked, but it's the direction that ties it all together like a silk ribbon on a sharp little gift box. Feig didn't just direct a thriller, he directed an experience. 6. Cinematography. Let's dive into the visual feast that is A Simple Favor, because the cinematography here is not just doing its job, it's strutting down a runway while doing it. Every frame in this film feels like it's been dressed by a stylist and lit by someone who understands that shadows can be just as seductive as light. The camera doesn't just show you the story, it flirts with it. It teases. It winks. And sometimes, it slaps you with a jarring reveal when you least expect it. Cinematographer John Schwartzman deserves a standing ovation because he treats the camera like a character in the film. It doesn't just observe, it participates. From the very first shots, the visual language of this movie starts working its magic. We get bright, airy frames when we're in Stephanie's world, soft lighting, lots of gentle pastels, and that almost too perfect suburban glow. It's like a Pinterest board brought to life, and it lulls you into thinking you're watching something safe and sweet. But then, bam! We cross into Emily's world, and the lighting drops like a secret being whispered in the dark. Her house is all sleek lines, glass reflections, deep shadows, and cold elegance. You instantly feel the mood change, and it's not just because of the decor. The cinematography does the heavy lifting. The camera angles are super intentional, too. When Stephanie is timid and unsure, we see a lot of wide shots that make her feel small in big, sterile spaces. But as she gains confidence, the shots tighten. The camera gets closer, more intimate, like it's watching her step into someone else's shoes, literally and figuratively. And in Emily's scenes, the camera worships her. She's shot like a goddess, framed perfectly with dramatic lighting that catches every angle of her power. Whether she's casually pouring a martini or delivering a brutal truth bomb, she owns the frame, and the cinematography makes sure you feel it. There are so many moments where the visuals aren't just beautiful, they're communicating something deeper. Mirrors are a big deal here. You'll notice how often characters are shot in reflections, sometimes doubled, sometimes distorted. It's a quiet way the movie keeps reminding you that nobody is exactly what they seem. One especially striking moment involves Stephanie looking at herself in Emily's mirror, slowly morphing into someone more confident, more dangerous, more Emily. The shot lingers, and the symbolism is loud without anyone saying a word. Another standout visual element is how color is used. Stephanie's world is saturated with warm, welcoming tones, like you're watching a cooking show. But as she dives deeper into Emily's chaos, the palette shifts. Blues, blacks, and stark contrasts start creeping in. By the end, those cheerful yellows and soft pinks are almost completely gone, replaced by sharp monochromes and dramatic lighting. It's like the cinematography itself is documenting Stephanie's transformation. Let's not forget the use of natural light, or the lack of it. Scenes in Emily's house often feel like they're lit by storm clouds and secrets. There's a chill in the air even when nothing is being said. It's elegant, moody, and just a bit unsettling. And when the tension hits its peak, the lighting gets theatrical. Think silhouettes in doorways, shadows falling across smirks, and frames that look like they belong in a mystery novel cover. There's always something extra in the way each scene is lit and framed, whether it's to highlight suspicion, danger, or just pure visual flair. And, of course, the camera movement itself plays a major role. There are long, deliberate tracking shots that let you soak in the atmosphere, and then there are quick, snappy edits during tense conversations that make you feel the pressure building. It's all perfectly calibrated to keep you visually engaged while the story keeps throwing curveballs. In short, the cinematography in A Simple Favor doesn't just sit in the background. It walks into the room wearing designer sunglasses and makes a scene. It elevates the suspense, enhances the comedy, and gives the whole film a glossy, mysterious, high-fashion meets true crime look. Every angle, shadow, and splash of light is telling you something about these characters and the secrets they're hiding, and doing it with serious style. 7. Editing and pacing. Let's talk about the engine that keeps A Simple Favor running like a well-oiled, martini-fueled mystery machine, the editing and pacing. Because, let's be real, a film like this, with its twisted turns and double crosses, could easily get tangled in its own web. But instead, it zips along with the energy of someone speeding down a country road in a vintage convertible, wind in their hair, secrets in the glove compartment. The editing here isn't just clean, it's slick, snappy, and always one step ahead, just like the film's femme fatale. The movie kicks off with a fast but smooth start, Stephanie's vlog intro, the PDA mom life, a few quirky cuts to awkward conversations, and it immediately gets you into her rhythm. It's bouncy, light, and full of that nervous charm that Kendrick nails so well. The editing during these early scenes plays it fun and flirty. Quick montages, sharp transitions, and those blink-and-you'll-miss-it reaction shots help you feel like you're scrolling through Stephanie's overscheduled, over-decorated life. Then Emily enters, and the vibe shifts like a needle drop. The edits get sleeker, the pace tightens, and scenes start flowing like a noir jazz riff, cool, calculated, with a little bite. There's this great push-pull effect happening between the pacing of Stephanie's scenes and Emily's. When they're together, the rhythm is electric, back-and-forth banter cut just fast enough to keep the tension crackling. It's edited like a conversation between two people trying to out-mystery each other, and it works. Every cut matters. Nothing drags. Nothing feels like filler. Even the silences are edited with purpose, lingering just long enough to raise an eyebrow or drop a hint. One of the best things about the editing in A Simple Favor is how it plays with tone. This film constantly walks the line between thriller, dark comedy, and satire, and the editing knows exactly when to speed things up for a laugh or slow things down for suspense. When Stephanie starts digging into Emily's past, the film shifts into sleuth mode. Cue the mysterious music, stylish jump cuts, and a parade of phone calls, online searches, and stealthy eavesdropping, all cut together in quick, punchy sequences that keep you locked in. It's like watching a true crime podcast come to life, but with killer shoes and chic lighting. And let's talk about the transitions. There's a playful energy in the way scenes flow into one another. Sometimes it's a hard cut that lands like a punchline. Other times, it's a smooth dissolve that hints at something darker coming just around the corner. The editors aren't afraid to have fun, but they're always in control. Even when the plot twists start flying, the pacing never loses its rhythm. There's a constant forward momentum, a ticking clock kind of tension, but without sacrificing the film's quirky personality. Now, does it ever feel rushed? Not really. If anything, it's a little breathless, in the best way. This is a film that doesn't want you to get too comfortable. Just when you think you've settled into a groove, it throws in a phone call, a body, or a bombshell, and the editing helps amplify every surprise. It's not chaotic, though. It's precision chaos, like someone juggling knives while sipping espresso. Even emotionally, the pacing works wonders. Those moments when Stephanie questions herself? When Emily's secrets crack open just enough to let a little humanity show through. The film knows to slow down just a touch, letting those beats land without overstaying their welcome. It's all in the rhythm. The editing lets the emotion breathe, then jumps right back into the stylish madness. By the time the third act hits and the twists go full soap opera meets catwalk, the editing becomes almost playful in how it reveals and conceals. You're given just enough information to stay intrigued, but never so much that you can guess where it's all going. The timing is razor-sharp, the reveals land like plot grenades, and the transitions between tones feel effortless. So yes, if A Simple Favor was a dance, the editing would be the choreography. Crisp, clever, a little dramatic, and always entertaining. It doesn't just keep the story moving. It keeps it grooving, bouncing from comedy to crime to couture without missing a beat. 8. Soundtrack and score. The soundtrack of A Simple Favor. It's not just background noise. It's a full-blown personality strutting through every scene, tossing out French pop tracks like Rose Petals and Whispering. You're not watching your average mystery. From the opening moments, the music lets you know exactly what kind of world you've stepped into. Sleek, stylish, a little dangerous, and a lot of fun. It's like sipping a cocktail with a secret ingredient. You don't know what's in it, but it tastes expensive and slightly illegal. Now, let's talk about the choices. This film doesn't settle for generic suspenseful strings or moody ambience. No, it curates a playlist with the precision of a femme fatale picking out her favorite perfume. The recurring theme here is French pop, and it's not just a random aesthetic flourish. There's something both whimsical and unsettling about hearing light, airy, vintage-sounding French songs playing while characters are lying, manipulating, and maybe even murdering. That contradiction creates this cheeky tension that makes the film so memorable. You'll hear a song with playful accordion riffs while someone's digging into a deep, dark secret, and somehow, it works perfectly. It's like the soundtrack is in on the joke, gently mocking the seriousness of the drama while still keeping things oh so cool. The music acts as an emotional shapeshifter. It sets the tone in such a stylish way that even exposition-heavy scenes feel like they're part of a glamorous runway show or a sultry noir film. When Stephanie is in her awkward, PDA mom groove, the score stays light, almost bubbly. But the moment Emily shows up, bam, the music leans darker, smoother, jazzier. You start to feel the danger oozing in, but it's always wrapped in velvet. The shifts are subtle but sharp. You're not being told how to feel with dramatic stabs or swelling strings. Instead, the music seduces you into feeling curious, suspicious, amused, sometimes all at once. One of the standout elements of the score is its restraint. It knows when to go quiet. There are several key moments, reveals, confrontations, that deliciously tense dinner table scene, where silence creeps in like fog. No music, just ambient sound, maybe the clink of a glass or the hum of the room. That kind of stillness is powerful because it forces you to lean in. You're waiting for the next line, the next clue, the next shoe to drop. And when the music does return, it hits that much harder. Silence in this film is not empty, it's loaded. The musical motifs are also super clever. There are tracks that repeat subtly, echoing in different scenes to tie emotional threads together. A tune that once played during a flirtatious martini moment might come back during a flashback, now laced with irony or dread. These aren't in-your-face motifs, but they work on a subconscious level, reinforcing the film's themes of deception, identity, and the fine line between sophistication and chaos. What's especially fun is that the soundtrack becomes part of the film's personality. You don't just hear it, you feel it. It's the high-heeled strut in Emily's walk, the wink in Stephanie's smile when she starts getting bold, the sparkle in the martini glass before the poison slips in. The music supports the mood, builds the suspense, but never screams for attention. It's too cool for that. It knows you're watching, and it's confident enough to let you come to it. The overall vibe is very much a love letter to old-school mystery and noir films, but with a modern, chic twist. The music takes that concept and elevates it. It adds flair, attitude, and that ever-so-slight sense of irony that keeps the whole film from becoming too self-serious. It's like the perfect accessory, complementing the outfit without overshadowing it. So yes, whether it's the haunting pause of silence before a secret is spilled or the upbeat French track bouncing in the background of a suspicious conversation, the soundtrack and score in A Simple Favor are doing some serious storytelling of their own. It's not just music, it's mischief with a beat. 9. Themes and messages. Now here's where A Simple Favor really gets juicy. Under all that glossy style, martini clinking, and fashion-forward drama, this movie is quietly, and sometimes loudly, unpacking some surprisingly sharp themes. And it does it with a wink, a twist, and a pair of designer sunglasses so big they could hide half the secrets in the film. It might look like just another stylish mystery at first glance, but dig a little deeper and you'll find this film has quite a bit to say about identity, motherhood, secrets, and the masks we wear to survive suburbia and beyond. Let's start with identity, because this film is obsessed with it. Who you are versus who you present to the world is the beating heart of the story. Stephanie seems like the poster child for perfection. Single mom, super organized, always volunteering, always baking, but peel back the layers and things get messy fast. Her cheerful vlog persona is practically a costume, and as the movie unfolds, we see her try on several new ones: detective, seductress, even mini Emily. The film keeps asking, is Stephanie discovering who she really is, or is she just borrowing someone else's confidence? And Emily, on the other hand, well, she's practically a one-woman identity crisis. She's mysterious, constantly lying, rewriting her past, and dodging the truth like it's an unpaid parking ticket. The idea that someone can totally reinvent themselves, or even disappear from their old life, isn't just a plot device here. It's a theme, and it's deliciously dark. Then there's motherhood, and A Simple Favor dives into it with claws and lipstick. This is not your standard, sweet depiction of selfless, nurturing moms. This film throws that Hallmark card out the window. Instead, it explores the idea that motherhood is a role just like any other, and not everyone plays it the same way. Stephanie is the supermom stereotype turned up to 11, while Emily is the cool mom who casually swears in front of her kid and wears black like it's armor. But neither of them fits the mold entirely, and that's the point. The film skewers the idea that women have to choose between being perfect parents or powerful individuals. It asks what happens when moms have secrets, big ones, and it doesn't shy away from showing how those secrets ripple through their kids' lives. The result is a narrative that says motherhood doesn't erase your past, your flaws, or your ambition, and maybe, just maybe, that's okay. Secrets and truth, though, that's where this movie sinks its teeth in. Every single character is hiding something. No one is innocent. And the film doesn't just treat secrets like plot twists, they're symbols of survival. People lie in this movie not just to deceive, but to protect, to manipulate, to escape. The film explores how truth can be slippery, and how the version of ourselves we show others is often polished beyond recognition. But here's the fun part, it never preaches about it. It just lets the lies pile up like bodies in a locked closet, waiting to be discovered. There's something oddly thrilling about how casual the movie is about deception. It doesn't frame it as evil, it frames it as necessary. Stylish, even. It's a theme that lingers, because it reflects something real. We all curate our identities a little. This movie just turns the dial way up and makes it fabulously scandalous. Then there's the theme of female rivalry and friendship, two sides of the same sharp-edged coin. Stephanie and Emily's relationship is the film's most fascinating dynamic. They start off in this glossy, cocktails and confessions version of friendship, but there's always something transactional lurking underneath. Who's using whom? Who's learning from whom? It's never simple. The film plays with the idea that female friendships can be intense, empowering, competitive, and toxic, all at once. There's admiration, envy, and maybe even a little obsession in how they relate to each other. The movie understands that sometimes we don't just want to be friends with someone, we want to be them. There's also a sly commentary on performative femininity. From vlogging moms to high-powered PR queens, everyone in this film is performing a version of womanhood that suits their needs. Whether it's wearing the apron or the power suit, these characters are acutely aware of how they're perceived, and they use it. They play roles. And the film asks, if you're always playing a role, do you ever really know who you are underneath? Even class and status sneak their way in. Emily's high-end lifestyle is seductive, but it's also built on lies and exploitation. Stephanie's suburban humility hides her own web of manipulation. The idea that appearances can be not just deceiving, but deadly, runs through the entire film. So while you're sipping your imaginary martini and admiring the chic outfits, a simple favor is quietly poking you in the ribs, asking questions about who we are, who we pretend to be, and what happens when those two collide. It's messy, it's smart, and it's way deeper than it first lets on. Just like its characters. 10. Visual effects and CGI. Now, let's talk about the unsung hero of A Simple Favor, or more like the subtle supporting actor you didn't even realize was there, visual effects and CGI. Because here's the twist. This film doesn't throw digital explosions or armies of CGI clones at you. No, it whispers its visual tricks, quietly dressing up its drama with a little behind-the-scenes movie magic that blends so seamlessly into the sleek, stylish world of the film that you probably didn't even notice it. And that, my friend, is exactly the point. This isn't a superhero flick or a space opera. It's a mystery thriller wrapped in cashmere and dipped in sarcasm. So don't expect CGI monsters jumping out of closets. The effects here are more about enhancement than spectacle. Think of them as the invisible concealer hiding a cinematic blemish, or a digital pinch of seasoning in an already rich stew. For example, some of the most common uses of visual effects in films like this involve subtle scene adjustments, weather enhancements, window views, removing boom mic reflections from a mirrored surface, because let's face it, there are a lot of glass walls and shiny things in Emily's house, or creating a perfect sunset in a moment that needs just a hint more drama. These are the kind of VFX that you don't see, you feel them. One particularly clever use of effects is during the flashback sequences. They're tinted just slightly differently, the lighting a little moodier, the shadows just a bit more dramatic. Sometimes that's a practical setup on set, but sometimes it's digital work after the fact, boosting the mystery and giving those glimpses into the past a slightly heightened, almost dreamy quality. It's not about fooling the eye with a big spectacle, it's about controlling tone, and these digital flourishes do that beautifully. Let's not forget the car crash moment. You know the one. That sequence might seem straightforward on the surface, but parts of it are likely enhanced or even constructed digitally to make sure the action flows smoothly and safely. There's a touch of visual wizardry there, editing, sound design, maybe a green screen background here and there, making sure it looks slick and dangerous without ever drawing attention away from the story. It's not the kind of scene where you lean forward and go, wow, CGI. It's the kind where everything feels natural, but better than real life. And that's a sweet spot most movies wish they could hit. Then there's the use of practical effects, which make the film feel grounded and textured. Bloodstains, smashed glass, the occasional touch of makeup magic. These are done practically, and it helps the movie maintain its noir-inspired, real-world aesthetic. There's something charming about how a simple favor uses traditional film tools like lighting, production design, and costuming to do most of the heavy lifting, while the digital effects come in like a quiet team of stylists fixing flyaway hairs before the big photo shoot. You don't see them working, but the end result looks flawless. So, while a simple favor might not be the type of movie you think of when you hear visual effects, that's exactly why the ones it uses work so well. They're like the film's secrets, subtle, hidden just beneath the surface, and revealed only if you know exactly where to look. The digital polish is there to elevate, not distract. The effects aren't shouting for attention. They're helping the story slip effortlessly from one stylish moment to the next, like a perfect smoky eye that hides the truth behind a perfectly arched brow. It's all part of the illusion, and in a movie about lies, facades, and curated identities, that illusion couldn't be more fitting. 11. Set design and locations. The set design and locations in A Simple Favor are not just backdrops. They are characters in their own right, dripping with style, attitude, and just enough danger to make you clutch your pearls. Every room, every house, every tiny detail on a coffee table or behind a character's shoulder is saying something. These aren't just spaces people walk through. They're psychological playgrounds, mood boards, and maybe even confessional booths, depending on the scene. Let's start with Emily's house. Oh, Emily's house. It's not just a home, it's a statement. A modern glass and marble dream that screams, I have secrets, but I also have great taste. The architecture is sleek and a little cold, like Emily herself. It's all sharp edges, dramatic lighting, and perfectly placed high-end furniture that looks too expensive to actually sit on. This space doesn't just tell us who Emily is, it shows us who she wants to be seen as. It's almost like a museum of her curated life. And, of course, it's full of reflective surfaces, because nothing says mystery like someone staring at their own reflection in a spotless glass door while plotting something potentially illegal. Then there's Stephanie's world, which is an entirely different aesthetic universe. Her house is cozy, warm-toned, and smothered in Pinterest-level domestic energy. Colorful aprons, kids' artwork, throw pillows in soft pastels. Her home is the baked goods version of a personality. But what's fascinating is how this space starts to feel different as the story unfolds. At first it's just Mom Central, but once she starts diving into Emily's life, you start noticing how confined it is, how much it's been a cage with smiley face wallpaper. Her tidy little kitchen turns into a command center for uncovering the truth. Suddenly, her sweet suburban living room isn't just a comfort zone, it's the launching pad for transformation. The contrast between these two homes alone is enough to tell you everything about the characters and their arcs. One is all control and curated power. The other is restraint disguised as sweetness. And the way these two worlds begin to blend, especially as Stephanie starts to adopt Emily's mannerisms and confidence, is reflected in how she physically moves between spaces. You feel her stepping out of her domestic bubble and into something much more dangerous and thrilling. Let's not forget the supporting locations that help fill out this stylish little world. The schoolyard, the local cafe, the cozy suburban streets, all of them are used just enough to keep the story grounded in reality, but they're also dialed up visually to match the film's playful noir vibe. Even something as mundane as a playground bench becomes loaded with tension when two moms are throwing barbed compliments at each other while pretending to talk about their kids. The film knows how to use ordinary spaces and turn them into hotbeds of passive-aggressive warfare. The set design also does a fantastic job of guiding your emotional response without being too obvious. When secrets are being revealed, notice how the lighting subtly shifts. When things are getting chaotic, the once pristine environments get a little messier, a little darker. When Stephanie starts living out her mini Emily fantasy, the shift isn't just in her wardrobe. It's in the props around her, the wine glasses she uses, the sleek new elements creeping into her very suburban home. The designers didn't just build rooms. They built mirrors of character psychology. The production design team even nails the little details. Emily's office? A vision of ruthless chic. The bar where the flashback conversations happen? Quietly ominous, lit like a memory half-faded. Even the fashion plays into the design. The way characters are framed in their environments, how their outfits match or clash with the background, it's all part of a beautifully orchestrated visual symphony. In a movie so concerned with appearances and deception, it's only fitting that the spaces these characters inhabit are just as layered and manipulative as they are. These aren't just locations, they're theatrical stages where drama, deceit, and dangerously fabulous friendships unfold. From the flawless cocktails served in flawless kitchens to the tension-filled silences echoing down glass corridors, the set design in A Simple Favor does more than set the scene. It stirs the drama and spikes the martini. 12. Dialogue and script. The dialogue in A Simple Favor is like a cocktail shaken with equal parts sass, suspense, and a splash of straight-up savagery. It's witty, it's biting, and it wears its charm like a designer trench coat, stylish but never trying too hard. The script doesn't just carry the plot forward, it dances with it, flirts with it, and occasionally throws it a scandalous wink. Every line feels like it's been marinated in sharpness and served on a silver platter, and what makes it even more delicious is that it never forgets to surprise you. You'll be laughing one moment, gasping the next, and then questioning every word someone just said because, let's face it, no one in this film is entirely honest. Let's talk character voice, because that's where this script really shines. Stephanie's dialogue is almost aggressively cheerful at first, packed with awkward over-explanations and that overly polite tone people use when they're trying to cover up how uncomfortable they are. She talks in run-on sentences, gives way too much information, and always sounds like she's in a PDA meeting. But as the story progresses, her words get tighter, bolder, and laced with a kind of reluctant confidence that sneaks up on you. The script mirrors her transformation perfectly. You can hear the power shifting in her voice before you even see it in her actions. And then there's Emily. Oh, Emily's lines should be framed and hung on the walls of a sarcastic art museum. Every time she opens her mouth, it feels like she's daring the scene to keep up with her. She's got this razor-sharp, no-nonsense way of speaking that makes you want to applaud and be slightly afraid at the same time. She doesn't waste a single syllable. Her dialogue is quick, stylish, and brutally efficient, whether she's casually insulting someone or dropping a bombshell revelation like she's commenting on the weather. The script gives her some of the best one-liners in the film, the kind that instantly define a character and make you wish you had the nerve to say something half as bold in real life. What's really fun is how the script plays with tone. One moment, you're in a screwball comedy where two unlikely women are bonding over martinis and oversharing secrets. The next, you're knee-deep in a psychological thriller with lies, betrayal, and dark pasts bubbling to the surface. And yet, it never feels jarring. That tonal balance is thanks to the script's rhythm. It knows exactly when to pivot, when to lean into humor, and when to let a moment hang in the air just long enough to turn uncomfortable. The dialogue flows with such confidence that even the most absurd twists somehow feel grounded in character, not chaos. And yes, there are standout lines. The kind you remember not just because they sound cool, but because they reveal something deeper. Whether it's Emily saying something completely outrageous with a straight face or Stephanie awkwardly blurting out something that accidentally cuts too deep, the script is loaded with quotable gems. These lines work because they're perfectly tailored to the characters. They never feel like they're trying to be iconic. They just are. The banter between Stephanie and Emily, especially in the first act, is pure entertainment gold. It's like watching two different species try to communicate, one all sunshine and social anxiety, the other all ice and mystery, but somehow it clicks. The way they talk to each other is loaded with subtext. Compliments that are actually insults. Confessions that sound casual, but hit like grenades. It's the kind of dialogue you lean into because you know every sentence is doing double duty, entertaining you and pulling you deeper into the mystery. Even the supporting characters get their moments. The script doesn't waste words. It gives everyone something that feels specific and sharp. Whether it's a sassy side character dropping truth bombs or a random passerby throwing in a bizarre but memorable comment, there's a sense of control to the chaos. You feel like the writers are winking at you the whole time, daring you to keep up. And let's not forget how the script uses silence, too. Some of the most impactful moments in the film come when characters say nothing at all, and the tension builds through glances, pauses, and things left unsaid. That's the mark of a script that trusts its audience and its actors to fill in the blanks without spoon-feeding. So no, this isn't just a well-written movie. It's a cleverly written movie. Every word has purpose. Every joke hides a jab. Every pause is loaded. The dialogue isn't just about characters talking. It's about characters performing, deceiving, seducing, and surviving. It's sharp enough to cut glass, and yet somehow, you want to sip it slowly, like a vintage cocktail. 13. Genre execution. A Simple Favor doesn't just walk into the genre. It struts in wearing designer heels, carrying a martini, and throwing side eyes at every cliché it passes. On the surface, it might look like your average mystery thriller with a dash of suburban noir, but give it 5 minutes and you'll realize it's something far cheekier, far stranger, and way more self-aware. This film knows exactly what you expect from a whodunit wrapped in drama and secrets, and then it playfully unravels those expectations one silk scarf at a time. Let's start with the mystery element, because that's where the film likes to plant its flag. Yes, there's a disappearance. Yes, there's a dead body. Yes, there are secrets layered like a millefeuille of manipulation. But unlike most thrillers that like to whisper, nothing is what it seems. A Simple Favor practically shouts it while winking. The plot twists come fast, dramatic, and sometimes so outlandish you'd think it's about to go full telenovela. But here's the kicker. It works because the film knows it's being over the top. It leans into the melodrama like a diva making a grand entrance, and the result is a genre piece that doesn't feel trapped in its own seriousness. Now add comedy into the mix. That's right. This mystery is funny. Not slapstick funny, but stylishly sharp, darkly comic, and unapologetically snarky. Stephanie's awkward mom vlogger energy is a perfect comedic foil to Emily's icy glamour, and the way the film bounces between their two vibes creates this delicious genre mashup. Part thriller, part satire, part wait, did she just say that? Social comedy. It walks a very fine line between genuine suspense and self-aware absurdity. Just when you're settling into a moody moment, someone drops a line so casually savage or absurdly revealing that you can't help but laugh. Then immediately question why you're laughing at all. And here's where it really gets interesting, the tone. This film does not behave the way traditional thrillers are supposed to. It's sleek, yes. Suspenseful, yes. But it doesn't wallow in its own darkness. Instead, it dances through it like it's enjoying the game. It isn't afraid to be playful in its tension, to let characters make wild decisions while still keeping the stakes high. You might expect a brooding investigator or a broody, rain-soaked chase scene. What you get instead is a character filming a perky baking vlog while subtly investigating a murder. It's genre subversion with glitter and sarcasm. Even the romantic drama elements, because yes, there's a romantic triangle in the middle of all this chaos, don't play out the way they usually do. There's no sweeping orchestral swell, no heartfelt confessions under the stars. Instead, the relationships in this film are transactional, manipulative, and endlessly entertaining. Love isn't a healing force here. It's another tool in the characters' arsenals. And that's kind of genius, because it takes all the sentimental fluff out of the genre and replaces it with razor-edged intrigue. The film doesn't completely abandon the conventions of its genre, it uses them, but it twists them into new shapes. It gives you the missing woman trope, but then makes her the most dominant personality in the story even when she's supposedly gone. It gives you the amateur sleuth, but turns her from a caricature of innocence into a layered, slightly unhinged investigator. It gives you secrets from the past, yes, but they're so theatrical and twisted that they feel like they wandered in from a soap opera, except the characters react with such grounded nonchalance that it somehow plays perfectly. And yet, even while juggling mystery, drama, satire, and some seriously outrageous character decisions, the film never loses control of its narrative. It balances the chaos like a seasoned performer balancing a tray of martinis, cool, confident, and with a flourish. You never feel like it's parodying the genre. It's more like it's remixing it, adding new beats, dropping the bass, and throwing in a confetti cannon just to keep things spicy. So if you walked into a simple favor expecting a straight-laced thriller, be prepared to have that genre shaken, not stirred, and then splashed with a lemon twist of comedy and a spritz of stylish chaos. It's not a reinvention. It's a reinvention party, and every genre trope is invited, but only if it's ready to play by new rules. 14. Social and cultural commentary. On the surface, a simple favor might look like a glossy, twisty mystery where everyone's gorgeous, dangerous, and just a little bit too clever for their own good. But dig a little deeper beneath the tailored suits and martini glasses, and you'll find it's doing something sneakily brilliant. It's holding up a mirror to modern social roles, class privilege, performative feminism, and even the curated absurdity of online identity, all while pretending to just be a stylish thriller. That's the magic trick. The commentary is so baked into the plot, characters, and tone that you don't even notice how sharp it is until the film has you by the throat and the funny bone. Let's start with parenting and gender roles. Stephanie is a single mom, a supermom, a volunteer queen who runs a vlog while juggling bake sales, parent-teacher drama, and endless guilt. She's what society says women should aspire to be: nurturing, cheerful, involved, and humble. But here's the twist. Stephanie is miserable in that role. She's lonely, underappreciated, and quietly craving something more dangerous, more powerful, more hers. The film takes that Pinterest-perfect image of motherhood and rips it at the seams, asking why women are still expected to smile through the drudgery of domestic life and pretend it fulfills them entirely. It's not subtle, but it is entertainingly sly. Stephanie's journey isn't just about solving a mystery. It's about breaking out of that idealized cage and embracing the chaos inside her that society told her to hide. Then we have Emily. She's the anti-mom, the glamorous career woman who drinks at noon, curses like a sailor, and refuses to apologize for not giving a damn about bake sales. She's everything Stephanie isn't, and society doesn't quite know what to do with her. Emily is the kind of woman that challenges people just by existing. She refuses to be boxed in. And yes, she's also morally murky and deeply manipulative, but that's kind of the point. The film isn't saying she's a role model. It's using her to shatter the idea that women have to be likable, nurturing, or even consistent. Emily's very existence is a rebellion against the rules women are supposed to play by. She's not a villain because she's a bad person. She's a villain because she refuses to conform. And that's a power move wrapped in couture. There's also a juicy layer of class commentary running beneath all the mystery. Emily works in high-fashion PR, has a ridiculously sleek house, and flaunts a lifestyle most suburban parents can only dream of. Stephanie, by contrast, is thrifty, frugal, and constantly aware of her economic limitations. The contrast between their worlds isn't just aesthetic, it's political. Emily wields her wealth like a weapon, using it to intimidate, manipulate, and vanish when needed. The movie plays with the idea that rich people get away with things simply because they can. Meanwhile, Stephanie, from her modest position, has to work twice as hard just to be taken seriously, let alone survive the games she's pulled into. And let's not forget the media and internet culture angle. Stephanie's mom vlog isn't just a quirky character trait, it's a window into how people curate their lives for public consumption. She smiles into the camera, shares cookie recipes, and pretends everything is fine while her personal life is crumbling behind the scenes. Sound familiar? It's a not-so-subtle nod to the Instagram-perfect culture we're all swimming in, where people build online personas that are equal parts performance and wishful thinking. The film is quietly asking, what happens when that persona gets twisted into something darker? What happens when the curated mask can't hide the mess anymore? And finally, the film throws in a delicious touch of commentary on trust, manipulation, and the seductive power of secrets. In a world where everyone is pretending to be something, online, in relationships, in public, how do you ever really know anyone? The characters all lie, to each other and to themselves. The truth is just another weapon. And in that way, a simple favor becomes a sharp little metaphor for modern relationships, where authenticity is currency and sometimes the biggest crime is being honest. So while the film zips by with plot twists and chic outfits, it's actually poking at a lot of big, messy ideas. It's not preaching, it's provoking. It doesn't deliver a TED Talk. It delivers a martini and a murder and lets the social commentary drip through like good bitters in a cocktail. That's what makes it so addictive. It's a mystery, a comedy, a satire, and a cultural critique all rolled into one, and somehow, it makes it look effortless. 15. Audience engagement. Watching A Simple Favor is like being handed a deceptively classy cocktail that hits harder than you expected. You take that first sip thinking it's just going to be a light mystery with a few laughs, and the next thing you know, you're on your third twist, gasping at the screen, laughing at wildly inappropriate moments, and whispering, "Wait, what?" every 10 minutes. This film doesn't just entertain, it plays with the audience. It winks at you, dares you to guess what's going on, and then pulls the rug out just when you think you figure it out. It's the kind of movie that thrives on reaction, and boy, does it know how to get them. Let's talk about the laughter first, because despite being a thriller with missing persons and bodies popping up, this film is genuinely funny. The humor comes from character contrast, awkward social encounters, and perfectly timed one-liners that land like verbal grenades. Stephanie's overly chipper personality clashing with Emily's ice-cold detachment is comedy gold, and the movie leans into that dynamic hard. Every scene they share is like a tennis match of personality, one's lobbing cupcakes, the other's smashing back martinis. The audience eats it up because it's not just entertaining, it's relatable in the most exaggerated way. Who hasn't felt out of place around someone impossibly cool? Who hasn't over-explained something awkward in public and instantly regretted it? Then there's the shock factor. A Simple Favor doesn't just twist, it spirals, and every turn is more deliciously unhinged than the last. It's like the movie keeps looking at you asking, "You think you've seen the craziest part? Hold my martini." Just when you're settling into the idea that this might be a dark buddy comedy, bam, murder. Think you know who's lying? Double bam, everyone is. It's these jaw-dropping reveals, outrageous character decisions, and escalating chaos that make this film a roller coaster of reactions. People gasp, they whisper at each other in the theater, they pause the movie at home just to rewind and confirm that yes, that scene really did just happen. What makes this even more engaging is how layered everything is. On a surface level, it's fun and fast and glossy. But for the more curious viewers, there's a treasure hunt of themes and subtext. Identity, power, gender roles, morality. It's all baked into the story like a fancy layered cake. Some people watch for the plot, others for the performances, and then there are those who rewatch to catch all the subtle clues and details they missed the first time. It's a film that invites you back. You don't just watch A Simple Favor once. You revisit it to spot the Easter eggs, to re-experience the shock, and to admire how well it hides secrets in plain sight. The emotional connection sneaks up on you too. Stephanie might seem overly peppy and naive at first, but as the story unravels, her vulnerability hits a nerve. You start rooting for her, cringing when she stumbles, cheering when she starts owning her power. And Emily, oh Emily. As cold and calculating as she is, there's something magnetic and strangely sympathetic about her. You may not agree with her choices, but you get the survival instinct. That emotional tug-of-war keeps the audience invested, even when the plot is going full soap opera on steroids. And when it's all said and done, this is the kind of film that makes people talk. They talk about that wild final act, about the fashion, the friendship gone rogue, the insane reveals, the morally gray choices. It's a movie that sparks conversations about who is right, who is wrong, and who looked best doing it. It might even leave you asking deep questions about identity, trust, and what people are really capable of when pushed. So yes, A Simple Favor engages the audience in all the right ways, emotionally, intellectually, and with pure, chaotic entertainment value. It seduces you with style, shocks you with plot, and leaves you with a head full of questions and a strange craving for a martini in the middle of the day. It's not just a film you watch, it's a stylish puzzle you enjoy being lost in. When you try to compare A Simple Favor to other films, it's a bit like trying to find the exact same cocktail twice at a speakeasy. You think you've had something similar, but there's always a twist that makes this one taste completely different. At first glance, it fits comfortably into the stylish mystery thriller space, where everyone has secrets, someone's probably dead, and no one is who they claim to be. But then it veers sharply into camp, comedy, and psychological mind games, as if Gone Girl, Clueless, and a noir crime novel all decided to share a wardrobe and crash the same brunch. In the world of twisty thrillers, you've got your heavy hitters, Gone Girl, The Girl on the Train, The Woman in the Window. These films are moody, psychological, and often drenched in trauma and unreliable narrators. They take themselves very seriously. A Simple Favor, on the other hand, waltzes into the room with a designer trench coat and a smirk and says, "I brought cookies and a dead body. Let's have some fun." It doesn't wallow in its darkness. Instead, it sprinkles it with sarcasm, bubbles it up with witty banter, and presents its twists with a flourish, not a funeral march. Where Gone Girl unnerves you with icy tension, A Simple Favor disarms you with martini-fueled chaos, and then hits you with a plot twist so wild it feels like a dare. If you're looking at director Paul Feig's previous work, like Bridesmaids, Spy, and The Heat, you'll notice a pattern. Strong, hilarious women thrown into situations where their personalities completely upend expectations. But A Simple Favor is Feig dipping into darker, more sophisticated waters while still keeping one hand firmly on his comedy roots. It's as if he decided to dress up his usual quirky, character-driven chaos in noir couture. He doesn't ditch the humor, he sharpens it. And while it's not a straight-up comedy, the comedic timing is so precise it could walk the runway in heels. Compared to his other films, this one is the stylish cousin who reads true crime for fun and always has perfect eyeliner. Then there's the female friendship element, which immediately invites comparisons to Big Little Lies or even Desperate Housewives. But unlike those, which are dripping in melodrama and emotional unraveling, A Simple Favor plays its friendship like a chess game, glamorous, strategic, and never quite what it seems. Stephanie and Emily's dynamic doesn't just evolve, it mutates. One moment they're bonding over secrets, the next they're practically blackmailing each other with them. It's like the talented Mr. Ripley had a baby with a suburban mommy blog and then sent it to private school. Style-wise, the film is in a league of its own. Most thrillers opt for gritty realism or high-drama aesthetics. A Simple Favor is chic, colorful, and bursting with bold choices. Think less dimly lit alleyways, more perfectly styled townhomes with shocking revelations behind the wine rack. Even the costume design stands out. Emily's wardrobe practically deserves its own IMDb page. Compared to other genre entries that aim for minimalism or bleakness, this film says, why not murder in couture? So, where does it stand? It doesn't really sit neatly in any box. It flirts with genre conventions, but never marries them. It borrows the structure of a thriller, the sass of a comedy, the elegance of a fashion film, and the bite of satire. And somehow it works. Other movies may do one or two of those things well, but A Simple Favor juggles them like it's performing at a high society circus, composed, chaotic, and completely addictive. Whether it's better or worse than its cousins in the genre depends on your taste, but one thing's for sure, it's the one that brings the most flair to the family reunion. In A Simple Favor, There's more going on beneath the designer trench coats and sparkling martinis than meets the eye. Sure, it's a murder mystery on the surface, with secrets and lies flying around like confetti at a scandalous baby shower. But look a little closer, and you'll find a treasure chest of symbolism and metaphors hiding in plain sight. This film doesn't just tell a story, it plays with identity, perception, and control, and it does it with cheeky little visual nudges that are easy to miss unless you're paying close attention. Let's start with the clothing, because the wardrobe isn't just fabulous, it's symbolic. Emily's power suits, her tailored, monochrome looks, her sharp lines, they all scream control, authority, and danger. She doesn't just walk into a room, she commands it. Her fashion is armor, and every time she changes her outfit, it signals a shift in power or strategy. Contrast that with Stephanie, who starts the movie in pastel cardigans and floral prints, like a walking Pinterest board. She's softness, innocence, and order, but not for long. As the story unfolds and she gets tangled deeper into Emily's world, her look starts to change. More sleek, more daring, more confident. It's not just a makeover, it's a transformation. Clothing becomes a metaphor for control, personality, even deception. Who you are is who you dress as in this film's universe. Now, let's talk about mirrors. Yes, mirrors. They're everywhere in this film. Bathroom mirrors, mirrored sunglasses, reflective surfaces. They're not just there for the aesthetic. They symbolize duality and secrets. This is a film where no one is quite who they seem to be, where everyone has a public face and a private truth. Mirrors reflect that constant identity juggling. Emily is both femme fatale and lost soul. Stephanie is both sweet mommy blogger and someone with a dark past tucked neatly behind her baking tutorials. Every time someone looks into a mirror in this movie, it feels like a moment of reckoning, or maybe an invitation to lie better. Even the cocktails have metaphorical weight. Martinis specifically. Emily drinks them like they're water, always perfectly made, always with a twist, just like her character. She's cool, polished, and dangerous. A martini in her hand is like a red flag waving in the breeze. For Stephanie, offering a drink feels like trying to play adult in a world she's not used to. The martini becomes a symbol of sophistication, of the high-stakes world she's trying to infiltrate, and also of the intoxicating allure of someone like Emily. And let's not ignore the actual title, asterisk a simple favor star. That phrase is loaded. On the surface, it sounds harmless, friendly, casual. But in the film, every favor comes with strings attached, consequences that spiral out of control. The idea of a simple favor becomes a metaphor for how small actions, an errand, a phone call, a white lie, can lead to massive, irreversible change. It's a wink at the audience, reminding you that in this world, nothing is ever truly simple and nothing is ever really free. Even the use of weather and lighting serves as a quiet metaphor. Bright sunny days when everything's supposed to be normal, but you feel the dread creeping in. Rainstorms when secrets are washing to the surface. Shadows in kitchens where the tea isn't just hot, it's lethal. The environment reflects the characters' emotional states, often before they even say a word. And we can't forget about the children's drawings. Yep, even the kids are getting in on the symbolism. At one point, drawings reveal more than the adults ever intended, functioning like a subconscious truth serum. The innocence of kids in this film acts as a stark contrast to the grown-up deception, and their crude little sketches become truth bombs wrapped in crayons. Ultimately, the entire movie is like a layered cake where every sweet bite hides a bitter core. It's playing with the idea that nothing is ever as it seems, not people, not favors, not even friendship. Everything has a double meaning. And that's what makes the film so rich, not just what it shows, but what it hints at, hides, and mirrors back to you while smiling politely and pouring another drink. When it comes to a simple favor, the budget versus box office story is as sleek and stylish as the film itself. No explosions, no alien invasions, just a sharply dressed financial success that snuck in, stirred its cocktail, and walked off with a respectable pile of cash. This wasn't one of those mega blockbusters with a $200 million price tag and a dozen superhero cameos. No, this was a much more refined operation, with a production budget sitting comfortably around the $20 million mark. Modest by Hollywood standards, but every dollar is clearly on screen. From the luxe set design to the killer wardrobe, everything about this film screams elegance, not excess. And here's the best part. It didn't need a billion-dollar CGI army to win audiences over. A Simple Favor took its stylish little mystery and turned it into a surprise hit. At the worldwide box office, the film pulled in over $97 million. That's nearly 5 times its budget, which is the financial equivalent of pulling off the perfect con while looking flawless the entire time. It didn't just recoup costs, it strutted into profitability with a cheeky grin and a trench coat full of receipts. What's interesting is how the film's success wasn't just about numbers. It was about timing, tone, and targeting the right audience. It released in a relatively quiet September slot, far from summer blockbusters and Oscar-bait dramas. That gave it room to breathe, and it quickly built buzz through word of mouth. The marketing leaned into the mystery, the fashion, and the oddball chemistry between Kendrick and Blake Lively, who were both at the top of their game in terms of fan followings and screen presence. The trailer promised stylish secrets and dark humor, and audiences got exactly that, maybe even more. Social media played a huge role in the film's momentum. Blake Lively's viral marketing stunts, like wiping her Instagram and posting cryptic messages, sent fans into a frenzy, perfectly echoing her mysterious character. Meanwhile, people started sharing favorite quotes, looks, and plot twists online, giving the movie that extra boost of cultural conversation. The film didn't just show up, it became a bit of a fashionable obsession. Critics were generally on board too, praising the film's bold genre mixing and sharp performances, which helped push curious viewers into theaters. And while it didn't launch a cinematic empire, it hit that sweet spot between commercial hit and cult favorite. You know, the kind of movie people discover, love, and then immediately recommend to 5 friends with a breathless, "You have to watch this." So, on the financial report card, A Simple Favor didn't just pass, it aced the assignment in heels. It's proof that a smart script, clever marketing, and 2 magnetic leads can turn a mid-budget mystery into a full-on box office cocktail party. Not loud, not flashy, just calculated, cool, and unexpectedly lucrative. If you're ready to dive into the stylishly twisted world of A Simple Favor, you're in luck. This film is readily accessible across various platforms, ensuring you can experience its blend of mystery, dark humor, and high fashion at your convenience. Currently, A Simple Favor is available for streaming on Amazon Prime Video. This platform offers both the original film and its sequel, Another Simple Favor, providing a seamless viewing experience for fans eager to follow the enigmatic journey of Emily and Stephanie. The sequel, which premiered on May 1st, 2025, continues the saga with even more intrigue and unexpected twists. For those who prefer to own or rent the film, A Simple Favor is also accessible on several digital platforms. You can purchase or rent it through Amazon Video, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, Microsoft Store, and Spectrum On Demand. This flexibility allows you to choose the platform that best suits your viewing preferences. To fully appreciate the film's intricate plot and visual aesthetics, consider watching it in a setting that allows for uninterrupted viewing. Whether you're streaming it on a smart TV, laptop, or tablet, ensure that your environment enhances the suspenseful and glamorous atmosphere that A Simple Favor masterfully creates.